Hey, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you stopping by as always. I woke up this morning and I just felt something. I felt just a higher sense of urgency when it comes to preparedness. And I spent a little bit of time with a piece of paper and a notebook, and I was kind of planning out this upcoming weekend, which I do often, but what kind of things do I need to work on? What kind of things do I want to work on? And I found as I reviewed the list that a lot of it revolved around preparedness, even many of the ones that were related to infrastructure of the property. It still was related to preparedness. And I'd also made a list of a few tasks, things to check, things to organize, things to find, move from this point over to this other point just because it makes more sense. And I thought I would talk a little bit about that today because, I talk a lot about, what's going on over in Iran, rising food prices, et cetera, et cetera. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on in the world. And I really don't want to rehash all that. I will say that I also saw that the government in the UK issued some kind of statement or recommendation to its citizens to stock up on food and water and supplies. And I've seen things like that before from different countries, and it always makes me think, is there something that the government knows that the people don't? Certainly the governments do know things that the people don't, but for them to issue that statement, there's a variety of reasons why they could do that, and some are serious and some could just be manipulation, distractions, etc., etc. But I just thought I'd mention that. Interesting, nevertheless. So a few of the things that I thought about, that I'm going to do this weekend that I thought I would share is, to give an example, can openers. We've talked before about stocking up on food, stocking up on canned goods, different vegetables, fruit. Then we've got soups, stews, canned meat, pasta sauce, etc., etc. Well, to get at that stuff, you have to have a can opener. So I've got a ton of the military, the P-51 and the P-38s. I've got both sizes. P-38s are the small ones, P-51s are the larger ones. And I was writing down, I need to find that bag. I've got a Ziploc bag with a whole bunch of them in there. And I probably should not have them all in one place. I should have them spread out a little bit. So I thought I'd share that. Do you have multiple can openers? Manual can openers. In case there's no power, you need to have those manual can openers. The other thing that you guys could do, as well as myself, right now sitting in my living room, I've got about, I would say, 50 pounds of rice and probably 25 pounds of beans. And I'm going to be putting those in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. And that's all part of our long-term food storage. So that's a task for this weekend. I highly recommend that everybody goes out, they get a few bags of rice, I mean, rice, even though it's more expensive now than it was, just a few years ago, it is still very, very affordable. And the same goes with beans. Go grab, if you're really on a strict budget, go buy a single 5-pound bag of rice and put that back. It's better than nothing. The other thing is that I had on my list is I started making, as part of this list, it was a little shopping list of some different items from around the house. And some of these were like hygiene, sanitation, cleaning products. Dishwashing soap for manual dishwashing. We manual dishwash all the dishes. We don't have a dishwasher. Laundry detergent, shampoo, soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, and we normally keep quite a bit on hand. So as part of this list is to check, what do our supplies look like, and then maybe I pick up a few things. So that's something that you guys could do as well. It doesn't matter if you're in an apartment or if you're on a homestead. If you're using these things, check how much you got. Make sure you got a little extra if you can afford it. Flashlights, batteries, and power banks. So I use flashlights all the time. I go out every single night. I'm putting the chickens up. I'm grabbing a flashlight. I have rechargeable batteries. I'm taking the batteries, putting them on a charger. I utilize power banks for when I'm outside doing things and I want to keep my phone charged up, or Bluetooth speakers and stuff like that, whatever. I've got numerous small power banks, and I made it on the list to go through, make sure all the batteries are charged up and all the power banks are charged up. Because if something happens and the power goes out, you're going to be glad all of that is topped off. Another item on the list is to get out our generators and test them. It's been several months, too long, since we've started the generators. And last time we used them, it was no problem. And I put an additive in the fuel. It's like sea foam that I put in when I put them up in the fall. But I need to pull those out, and if there's a problem, if they need any work, I need to discover that now, not when we need them. So if you have generators, it's a good thing you could do this weekend. Go ahead and knock that out. Another thing is related to fuel. We've talked a lot about what might be happening with diesel, with gasoline, but also with propane. If you cook or heat for the winter with propane and you've got 20-pound tanks, I've got a ton of them. I probably got, 18 20-pound tanks, and I use them for heater buddies, and I also use them for cooking. I can use them for cooking. So I need to double check and make sure that I know how many are empty right now. And I think the vast majority of them are full. But I don't want to think, I want to know. So that's on my list to do this weekend, is I'm going to go get a count. And let's say I find that 5 out of the 18 are empty. Well, I'll probably go get one filled. It's a lot cheaper to get it filled than exchange it. So I'll probably go get it filled. And then, I'll work every week to get 1 or 2 of them filled until they're all full. And same thing with the gas cans. You know, I've been working on my gas cans recently. I rotated some. I got to go double check. I emptied some into my truck, and then I started refilling them. I got to see where I left off. And that was a few weeks ago. And I want to make sure I got them all full. So again, that's something I'd recommend you guys take a look at. If you don't have a spare gas can, see if you can get one if you can afford it. So take a look and see what you can do. A good minimum gas to have in reserve is 1 tank full. You know, if your car holds 15 or 17 gallons, try to have that put back as a reserve. If it holds 20, try to have that put back as a reserve. And then just rotate it every couple of months. Put it in your vehicle and then go get them filled up. So I'd say the last one we were talking about vehicles is just check all the fluids in your car. And now is a good time before, you know, something bad happens. You know, check windshield washer fluid, top it off, radiator coolant. Obviously check your oil, get it changed if needed, brake fluid, steering wheel fluid. Check everything, make sure it's good. Take a look at your belts. You know, if you're seeing cracks, you're seeing some wear, be a good idea to plan on getting that replaced. Check your spare tire. Does it have air in it? Is it still in good shape? Do you even have one? You know, I've heard of a lot of people that they go out and buy cars, they never look at their spare. Then they have a flat tire, they go open it up, realize they don't even have a spare tire. Their car didn't come with one. That's crazy. It's crazy. So, anyways, yeah, I'll keep saying it. And I know you already know it's a crazy world that we live in. Comment below, what have I left off the list? Is there something in particular that maybe you know you need to do, or you plan to do, or you'd recommend that somebody else does? The community here is really developing. I love the comments. And yep, that's it. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'll talk to you next time. You guys stay safe, take care. We'll see you.
So I ran from the cities and the noise and lies, found a piece of ground under open skies, hands in the dirt, sweat on my shirt, learning what living's really worth. While crooked men shake hands in rooms, selling souls to corporate suits. Society's sick, but I found the cure. A back road life, honest and pure. They can keep their throne and their golden news. This life out here's my modern exodus. I traded screens for a sunrise, callous palms, blisters, pride, planted seeds where hope